Okay.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the final salty Saturday of the regular season. This is John or Viriday, and join with me is the still undefeated Hertz Donut or Dan. How
Woo.
you doing, Dan?
I'm doing great and still undefeated because I don't play until tomorrow, even though I am really worried about how this week's going to go.
That's the spirit. That's the Archon Stormway. Unfortunately, we do not have Stephen Cassidy or Cassidy 14 with us tonight. He is traveling home for the holidays, so we will miss him tonight. But we have an awesome lineup coming at you guys. Kicking it off will be Nightsmoke coming from the Nightsmoke is on the Dream Team in the blue conference, and he's going up against Prometheus of Supreme, also in the blue conference. Nightsmoke's classes are Hunter, Paladin, Warlock, and Warrior, and Prometheus's classes are Druid, Hunter, Mage, and Warlock. So there is some variation there.
Not a ton.
Not a ton, but some. And yeah, we see some of the stronger decks present. Warlock, obviously, from both of them. Just looking at these, Dan, do you see straight away like a class you'd go after from each player for the ban?
From Prometheus's perspective, I feel like he doesn't need to be worried about Warlock. I'm not sure what kind of mage he's bringing, but I don't think that's worth banning Warrior just to try to get us Freeze Mage safe. If it was me, I would just ban Paladin because I'm scared of Paladin. And when I'm not positive about what the worst thing is, it's probably Paladin.
Right. Right.
I think that, yeah, Paladin doesn't match up well against Druid. I'm not sure how well Hunter does against it, but probably not very well.
Well, we're going to see the bans right now, so we'll jump right into this. And also tonight, just to round out those lineups, we've got some sweet matches coming at you. We also have Boom Boom Hall from the Harry Generals, also in the blue conference, going up against Markshire of Team Entropy in the blue conference. And finally, we will have the very hyped match of Slimsh from the Ghostly Casuals going up against Yuri, and we will get into those later. Well, it looks like the bans... Nightsmoke looks like he will be banning Prometheus's Warlock, and it looks like Prometheus...
Banning the Paladin. Smart,
Paladin, as you said.
Smart man.
Smart man. So yeah, those are pretty strong bans. Those make a lot of sense. I think I would agree with both of those bans. The Paladin is just one of the most consistent classes in Hearthstone right now. It has so few bad matchups, and it's so good against kind of the field. The field, of course, being like the Druid brings. Paladin generally just absolutely takes Druid to town. So we're gonna see Nightsmoke attempting to get wins with his Hunter, Warlock, Warrior. And now Prometheus is going to have to get wins with Druid, Hunter, and Mage with those bans out of the way. So if you're Nightsmoke here, what do you open up with? You've got your Hunter, Warlock, and Warrior, and you're looking at these classes from Prometheus. You ban the Warlock. What do you think you want to send out first?
Well, it's a safe assumption, although it's week 6 now, so maybe things are going to change, but that Prometheus would open with Druid. And so it's a bit of a risk, but I might even open with Zoo.
Oh, okay. Interesting. That would be a very risky move.
It would be risky, but I think it would also be really unexpected. And even if he opened with Hunter, I think that would still do all right.
Right. Well, it looks like we will have Hunters all around. We're going to have a Hunter mirror here, and it's going to be... It looks like mid-range versus mid-range. So neither Hunter inherently favored. Of course, the faster Hunter generally does better. We do see a quick shot in Prometheus's hand, so maybe it's well, we saw a quick shot and we saw a Ram Wrangler, so that's...
I think one quick shot is pretty standard. Oh, well, there's the second, so now I don't know.
Yeah. Whoa, and that's just a Stranglethorn Tiger. That's just
it's a gold Stranglethorn Tiger.
It's just chilling there. It is gold. That's beautiful. Wow, I don't know if I have... That is a cool gold card. All right, well, Nightsmoke obviously wanting to get board presence immediately. Going to send out this King's Relic. This will also give him information on his opponent's deck. He wins the Golden Savannah Highmane. And that gives both of them a lot of information. The Shredder shows that this is not a face hunter he's going up against, and then Prometheus sees the Savannah Highmane. So at the very fastest, this is a hybrid hunter from Nightsmoke. The Mad Scientist is so important early on in the Hunter Mirror. It is probably the most high tempo card because the traps, a Hunter Trap is it has such an effect on the battlefield. So early on, as the Hunters are trying to take board control, the Mad Scientist is just crucial. So Prometheus, right off the bat, having that is going to give him a lot.
Now, do you think, in this case, he can proc if it is a freezing trap, if the Haunted Creeper takes that, then that's, from Nightsmoke's perspective, pretty solid value.
Right, and we do see that's an explosive trap from Prometheus. Odd choice here. We're going to see more of their decks, and it's going to be a tie, Knife Juggler, Owl. Both are very, very standard. We see that the Dr. Boom in Nightsmoke's hand, definitely confirming that this is a somewhat slow mid-range hunter. Nightsmoke here, I don't think he would mind proccing this trap.
Not at all. I think, yeah, I don't know. Personally, I think that you can get a higher value board when you know you're going up against a mid-range hunter who you know has a Highmane in their hand.
Right.
But then again, he knew it was an explosive trap. But yeah, an explosive trap is just an excuse to get more damage on board.
He didn't know it was an explosive trap, did he?
Well, it was his Mad Scientist, so it depends on what else he's got.
Right?
Yeah,
okay,
Prometheus
to
play at the Scientist in the first place.
So I wanted to say, like, the sequencing of that attack from Nightsmoke was kind of odd. If that was a bear trap, he would have been in enormous trouble. It ended up being okay because it wasn't an explosive trap. I think he probably expected a freezing trap. I guess if he attacked the minion, if it was a snake trap, that would have been a lot of trouble as well. Prometheus
yeah, I think
now,
you just have to take the risk because you can't just sit there.
Right. No, absolutely true. Prometheus now with the two very strong minions on board, and Nightsmoke's trying to fight to regain board control here. He has to kind of get.
He has to take the turn to stabilize, I think.
Right. If he gets through this turn, look at his curve. He's got the Stranglethorn Tiger into the Highmane, into the Boom. So if he can if he can get a decent board state going into that curve, he'll be in all right shape. Prometheus, though, is going to have some awkward turns trying to get to that Savannah Highmane, or at least one awkward turn. All right, so Amisha's okay here. I think he was probably hoping for any of the other ones, actually.
Really?
Well, Leok would have been... I think Huffer probably would have just been the best.
Well, Huffer would have been no different than playing...
Amisha.
Well, then playing... I mean, even the quick shot or the kill command in his hand, it would have just been a three mana spell.
Right. Well, Nightsmoke is going to be able to get a Tiger out here. This Mad Scientist, again, so important in slowing down the game. Prometheus is going to be able to get the first Highmane out first, and that's huge. Getting that Highmane down first. Now Nightsmoke has to make some tough calls here. Both of their healths are at relatively high totals, considering how late we are in a Hunter Mirror. But there's really just no play here for Nightsmoke. I mean, I
don't know if that's true. He could...
kill command, unleash.
Exactly. He could kill command. He could even... I mean, if he traded the Tiger, he gives more board away, but then he has his own Highmane.
Right.
And it's awkward for Prometheus to deal with.
Unless he knows that there's going to be a freezing trap out of the Scientist.
Right, that's true. That's totally
true. The traps that Prometheus is running is going to be really big here. So
I think, given that, I really like your play because then you would have been left over with an extra hound to proc the trap. Yeah, absolutely. Now that I don't quite understand.
Well, we're going to see Ramlanger. This could make or break this game. It's going to... Wow! So he gets Malorn, and Malorn is...
Happy Feast of Wintervale.
Oh, man. Malorn is just back-breaking for Nightsmoke here. He's already on his back foot a bit here with this board, and now he's going to have to really make ground. Also, drawing a trap is just really tough here. This definitely is going to be a responsive turn from Nightsmoke. He's going to try to work to regain board control.
I think last turn had to be his responsive turn, and he opted for the aggression.
Right.
And I think... I understand, obviously, as the hunter, the faster hunter wins, and so you don't want to become the slow one. But at the same time, what the general wisdom needs to take a backseat to the current board state.
I just want to point out, too, that Nightsmoke is 1 damage off lethal. Um, he
Wow.
he is double kill commands would have gotten Prometheus to 1 health.
Yeah.
I like popping. I probably would have popped the Hymen first here.
Unless he's planning. Well, what is he planning to do?
So you kill. Is he just gonna? Oh, he's gonna try to. Oh wow! So he knows it's Snake Trap, and that doesn't allow him to trade. So he's gonna just hope that Prometheus doesn't have lethal, but we see Prometheus.
He certainly does. Yeah.
He absolutely does. Prometheus is 5 off. Just looking at the board. Prometheus, of course, with the double kill or quick shots and.
It's only 3 off.
Horn.
Looking at the board.
Oh right, because of the hero power. Sure. So Prometheus is going to be able to take that game 1. Pretty tough game, and I think the Malorn there really was is huge because it really prompted Nightsmoke to have to respond. I agree with you. If he had maybe perhaps taken the turn 6 a little slower and removed the Hymen potentially, he might have been in a different scenario. Regardless, it's tough to kind of anticipate the Ram Wrangler into Malorn. All right.
Definitely true.
So Prometheus taking game 1 with Hunter. He has a mage and a druid left, and Nightsmoke still has his warrior, warlock, and hunter left. So looking at druid and mage here as Nightsmoke, what are you thinking?
Well, warrior would be fine. At some point, you're going to have to win with the warrior. I probably would have opened with it, honestly, because I think it would have matched up best against the hunter.
Right.
But now you got to bring it. Yeah, I think that this is fine. I'm sure he was hoping that there was an off chance that he would catch a freeze mage here, but
yeah, and I guess Nightsmoke's warlock or his warlock's banned. So no, his warlock's not banned. I guess his warlock must.
His paladin's banned.
Yeah, I guess his warlock must be a handlock. Because if it was like, or maybe it's a Reno lock. I don't know. It's unfortunate though. Nightsmoke is going to he's going to queue into his Dragon Warrior.
What?
See it is Golden Warrior. Dragon Warrior definitely one of the lesser played archetypes. It is certainly much more favored over the traditional Control Warrior in this matchup, as it has the ability to kind of somewhat keep up with Druid tempo. However, we see Prometheus' hand, and it doesn't look good for Nightsmoke. Because that Innervate, that coin, the double shredder is just going to obliterate Nightsmoke's early game. And without a weapon to kind of respond to the shredders, he might be in big trouble.
What do you think of that pass instead of tossing out the shredder right off the bat?
That's certainly the correct play. Because what he's going to be able to do here now is he'll be able to Innervate into shredder on turn 2 and then coin into shredder on turn 3 by saving the coin. If he had played shredder on turn 1, he basically would have no turn 2 play. So this allows him to curve his turn 2 and turn 3 into shredders. And was certainly.
I think the assumption would be that you're going to use your Wrath on turn 2 to counter whatever they put down. Well, but then you are left with no turn 3.
But a warrior generally doesn't have anything to Wrath on turn 2, because you'll have a shredder out there, right? And it can respond to an armor smith, and there's nothing else Wrath would really respond to. So Prometheus
definitely as champion.
Right, exactly. It would have oddly been kind of good. Prometheus gets the Shade of Naxxramas, which has been somewhat flex spot. A lot of druids are kind of playing around with that Shade spot. We do see that he has at least one. A lot of druids have cut. Rare. It's rare to see 2 anymore, but certainly good in this matchup. Nightsmoke is now faced with a Shredder on turn 2. This Alex Strauss's champion can remove it. I think it's probably
it can remove it ish.
The front half, yeah.
Yeah, it can roll the dice. I think that's
give away a Dragon Warrior, which is pretty crucial information. A Stone Splitter Trog is about average.
Not so bad, yeah.
So now we'll see.
The next turn he can go. He's got a pretty good curve going forward here for the next few turns.
Yeah, Prometheus' curve is absurd here. If I was Prometheus, I would go right into the Shade. You want to get that Shade growing. And it's very strong against Warrior. Very, very strong. Yeah, he goes with the Shade, and Nightsmoke's just facing pretty much a nightmare start here. But he has
he's got the Guardian. We'll see if Prometheus decides to hold off. Maybe he'll use his swipe. here, but that we
Wow,
went to.
picking up the second swipe. If I'm Prometheus here, I'd probably go with the Shredder though. I'd hold off on the swipe one more turn.
Right,
It just
but
doesn't
then
feel good.
he does get, or Nightsmoke will be able to capitalize on that then with his Corruptor.
Right, and obviously just on the off chance that Shredder drop is a Wolf or a Flame Tongue, you want to put it in the middle. And nice.
Now, what do you
down.
think of popping the Shredder there and then brawling? Is that a little too skittish?
Ooh.
Yikes.
That's not right.
Oh, that's rough. And I liked Nightsmoke's I liked his sequencing, popping before attacking, because there's a lot of 2-drops that you might want to remove over the Stone Splitter.
Totally.
But this is going to be rough. Prometheus can clear and do nothing really. If I'm
wild
Prometheus
growth.
here,
A good wild growth
I
into
would
the
swipe.
boom.
Yeah, this is definitely the correct play. This is a fantastic play by Prometheus. He can keep his shade covered. Oh, whoa.
I don't mind this either.
It's okay. I didn't even think about this play. It's okay. It's a little greedy, to be completely honest, but
Absolutely.
it's
Well,
a
it
little
also
greedy.
it's especially greedy because dealing with the shade is one thing. Dealing one damage to a stealth minion is not all that difficult for a warrior in general.
Right, and I mean,
Like
yeah,
if on
it's
this
a little
turn
greedy.
he had equipped a death bite and hit face, then suddenly your assassin just became worthless.
Absolutely. Nightsmoke's thinking about if he wants to kind of throw this Bronze Beard out to try to soak up that patient assassin. Bronzebeard, yeah, I think Nightsmoke isn't too greedy. Isn't too greedy with this. And I think it's gonna pay off for him. Prometheus
You think he's going to use the assassin here?
awkward here. Well, it'll either coax the shade out of hiding, or he will get that assassin use. I don't see Prometheus swiping this or doing anything like that. Actually, I'd be surprised if Prometheus plays any minion here. I would expect maybe just a Wild Growth. He doesn't even need a Wild Growth.
He could also just silence the Bran.
He could. Yeah, he could. And yeah, he could silence here. What's going to be interesting is if Knights... Oh my gosh.
Interesting. So he's really... I'm not sure what he's playing at here, because he's only gaining 1 damage per turn with this board. And he's not building to combo. He could be threatened, in Nightsmoke's mind, then that's a concern, but all right, or he just goes. See, that seems strange to me. He spent a swipe to save 2 damage on the shade. So I'm wondering if that was a bit of a backstep or a bit of a misplay, and then decided to
also, we see a Harrison Jones here, despite the fact that Prometheus is only bringing 1 weapon class.
Which he already won with.
Right. That's a bit of an odd tech. Yeah, so now Nightsmoke's in a bit of an awkward spot here. I think you kind of want to remove that shade ASAP.
I don't think there's anything wrong. It feels like it's not the best value, but yeah, I see no problem with this.
Yeah. And at this point, he's going to...
The assassin's going to kill something.
Yeah, the assassin, I would be shocked here if Prometheus doesn't just kill the 5/4. He sees that Nightsmoke doesn't have really good removal with that play. It shows that he doesn't have a lot. So Prometheus might just go for the Dr. Boom on an empty board. Seems pretty good. The top decked Ancient of Lore is huge because Prometheus' hand is super weird. He's got the very powerful Dr. Boom, but after that, he's got nothing.
Well, looking at Nightsmoke's hand, though, given that he does have a poor removal situation, I think that the lore or the boom here is the right call.
Yeah.
In any other situation against a warrior, if you didn't know that they didn't have a whole lot going on removal-wise, then I would definitely go for the lore to try to get closer to that combo.
Right, and judging by how clunky that removal was on the shade, I completely agree.
Right.
I'd read that as no removal and play the Dr. Boom. Of course, BGH wouldn't have helped
Maybe
him.
he has the shield slam, but that doesn't matter when he's got no armor.
Absolutely. The very clear play here, obviously, is to use the assassin on the 5/4. I think
Is he disconnected, I wonder?
Well, we saw him using his cards. He's not playing anything, and Nightsmoke is going to be able to...
Oh!
And we see Prometheus back. He's moving his cards. He might emote now. he's certainly back, but he missed a turn. Nightsmoke's probably a little perplexed by that. I wonder if there's no chance that was a bamboozle, right? That he was just trying to get Nightsmoke to get the Dr. Boom.
What could he be trying to do?
I think he probably disconnected, to be completely honest.
I think that's, yeah.
And I
probably.
really like this play from Nightsmoke. He gets the shield slam, and he's going to try to start building armor. Prometheus needs to play a card immediately, or he's going to lose rope. We see he's active. He needs to play a card. He's going to drop the Dr. Boom. Okay. Whew. Okay, so he gets one part of the combo. He gets the Dr. Doom down. The question is, can he recover from that missed turn? I don't think... I mean, it was really unfortunate he missed the turn, but honestly, the Warrior wasn't able to capitalize too much.
I like that, by the way. He was waffling between which one to kill, and 99% of the time it's not going to matter. But on the off chance that he's playing a panda, or for some other reason it goes back to his hand,
well, actually,
Harrison's never a concern because he's never going to have a weapon.
He's almost certainly playing Ysera, and Dream is a card, so that makes
exactly.
sense. All right, well, it looks like Nightsmoke has a couple options here. He could go for the Brawl. The Brawl seems a little weak. I would probably just go for the Shield Slam, remove it, leave the bots. You're at a high enough total, and then he can drop his own Dr. Boom. He could also try to go for a little bit more of a less risky board. He could drop the... he could Shield Slam into the Blackwing Technician into the Zerdrake. That's way less susceptible to BGH, yet the Boombots may just end up killing those minions.
Right.
We definitely see the Shield Slam. I like this play a lot, and he's going to drop his own Dr. Boom. This might force the Druid to start playing defensively. Going into turn 9, Nightsmoke is far from dead to combo. And we see that Prometheus picks up a Belcher, so a bit of a defensive Druid here, and he has no response to this Dr. Boom.
Well, he could do the Force of Nature,
right?
Which
and that just,
I don't think would be the worst idea.
Right, and this is where perhaps using those double swipes so liberally might start to come back to hurt Prometheus.
Exactly.
Lacking that removal, and he also
and
gets
that
a Wrath
even earlier. Yep.
He only has 1 removal left, but that's a 4 damage. Oh, that's just brutal for Nightsmoke.
I don't know how justified that is.
So now Nightsmoke's probably just going to want a clear board here. Use the Dr. Boom. Yep, and that's just so sad. He can just drop this Nefarian, and he saw that there was no BGH. Let's see what he gets. He gets pretty average spells. Mark of the Wild could be potentially useful.
If nothing, if there's nothing to take out this Nefarian, a 10/10 Nefarian with taunt is pretty legit.
Right. Absolutely. Well, Prometheus has a nice double 5-drop turn. His hand's now refilled. Nightsmoke's got such an awkward hand. He's lacking weapons. He's just lacking a lot of the...
Well, he can play the Azure Drake, draw a card, see what happens, and then bash the opposing Azure Drake.
Right.
And take it out. And then he's left with 2 mana, so he could just armor up and kill the Belcher.
Right. He's going to kill the Belcher first, so that makes us believe he's not going to play the Azure Drake, because that would be...
I really hope he doesn't.
I wonder if he sees that spell power bash. It doesn't look like he is going to go with that.
He's going to go for the bite.
He's still safe from combo, and he can even play the Blackwing here to get additional damage or board control. He really wants to start getting this Azure Drake out. He needs that draw, honestly.
Oh, although to be fair, if he had played the Azure Drake, then that Blackwing would have become a lot less threatening.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Well... Prometheus has a host of options. He's got the double 5. He could go for a draw.
He's going to go for a Wrath.
Like he's going to go with the Wrath. Okay. This is going to make the rest of his turn really weak. He can draw. He doesn't draw first, which actually...
I think he was just mostly... Yeah, I think he just was excited that he had a way to deal with that card.
But, I mean, if he top decks a BGH here, he might feel really silly. He doesn't. He does top deck something.
He does get something, though.
Yep. And Nightsmoke really needs to find a weapon. He does find a Twilight Guardian, which is fantastic, actually. I would be pretty thrilled to play I'd probably play the Twilight Guardian into the Azure Drake and remove the Aspirant. Seems like a very straightforward play. I wonder if Nightsmoke has played every single dragon card I can think of, except for a second Alexstrasza's champion and a second Blackwing.
Or a Ysera.
No, that needs activation.
Oh, that needs right.
So unless he's really and 14 cards left, like holding that as Zerdrick, I think is definitely a mistake here. You need more. You have no weapons to deal with this Druid's board. You've got no shield slams. You've got no executes. You need more board presence to contest this Druid's board, and you need to get that Zerdrick out of your hand. I know he wants to sit on it. He does get Deathbite, so definitely.
So he can actually clear the board here and be left with a pretty, and both swipes are gone, so there's no concern
for
leaving the Marauder at 1 health.
We do see Prometheus has an extremely aggressive hand. Like, this hand is very dangerous. He's got double True to the Claw, a Loatheb, and the combo. That's such a dangerous hand from the Druid. He can capitalize on a weak board very quickly by removing the opportunity to remove weak minions or even use spells. All right, so we're going to
I like this, though. So this is going to completely clear the board. He'll be left with a weapon, a 5/3, and a 3/1.
Right, he's going to have a lot more to deal with, though. Oh, and we see the second. So he can now just throw a Force of Nature out as a clear. But the Force of Nature doesn't really go well with his hand. If I was Prometheus here, I'd probably go with a True to the Claw and a Loatheb. I like just using my full curve. He is going to clean up this board, though. And this makes sense. This is a really good Force of Nature here, just to clean things up. He's going to leave an empty board, but the thing is, Nightsmoke's just really starting to run out of just steam. He's going to have to
draw something like that.
Yeah, I guess he could Alexstrasza here. I guess I would Alexstrasza here. Yeah, I almost don't blame Nightsmoke for this play. I think that's a difficult play. I'm surprised he took so little time to do it. I think
I would have swung first. Well, I guess I don't know.
You need that one.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to see the double 5s here, and Nightsmoke's going to really need removal now. He's going to need something that's not that. And now he's in trouble. He's in big trouble. Mm-hmm. I'd actually probably just brawl.
I think that's the only option.
You're at 29, so are you dead to combo? That's 9 plus 4.
If you win the brawl,
13,
you're fine.
13 plus 14, so 27. He's not dead to combo on this board, so... But the problem is...
Yeah, but then he's dead to whatever comes after it.
Right, exactly. And he's got no removal in hand.
Although that's not true. He's got Alexstrasza.
Well, but Alexstrasza does very little against a Druid that has any minion on board. It means nothing. So I would go for the brawl and just really hope... Oh, he's going to run it in and then brawl? Ooh, I don't... It's a third...
Not sure. Why would...
So he could kill the Druid of the Claw if it survived.
Oh.
But that play was so cringy. It's a 33% chance just to win it. So really taking the worst case scenario into effect. And Prometheus picks up the BGH, and he's going to be able to play. So he's going to get this.
So his combo just went up to 15 on an empty board with that ET, because now he can use the hero power along with it.
Right, and now he can't even remove that.
I think that
is
dead? It.
Goes 25. He does 15 plus 7 is 22. So he's not dead. But this is pretty brutal. You have to drop Ysera here, without a doubt.
I think you drop Ysera here, and if you do that math, then you do have 1 life, 2 life left. And so then if all he has is the Emperor on the board, then that's 1 minion's not the worst case for Alexing your face, especially when you have a Ysera down on the board.
Oh, for sure. And you've already seen the 1 Force of Nature. So once it's just... Oh, no!
No!
Why? Oh. Well, that's pretty much game. Prometheus can play this quickly or slowly, and it won't really matter either way. He can BGH, and he can actually combo and BGH on the same turn. He doesn't really even need a combo. If I'm Prometheus here, I just BGH that, put him
Wild
into
growth,
easy.
draw a card.
Yeah, put him into
Yep.
easy. I probably wouldn't even draw a card. I'm 4 cards. Whatever.
Oh, I totally would, because then you're just getting more ET value. You can go nuts.
That's true. Sure. Yeah, man,
You can't lose this game
it's
now.
easy for us to say because we see the BGH, but even with
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he was just trying to generate as much threat as possible on the board.
right, but 4 cards left, like the chances of Nightsmoke having BGH is just like almost 100%.
I agree.
And you haven't tested it for a while, so you just, I mean, he was in a rough spot to begin with, but man, that was painful. Well, it looks like I don't think there's anything except, I don't even think Brawl would have saved him.
No, I think this all goes back, and it's granted it wasn't like the Brawl was hands down the best play earlier on,
Right.
Because he could have lost it, and then he really would have been screwed.
Right.
There was a 1/3 chance he would have just won it, a 1/3 chance that it would have been fine, and he would have taken 1 extra damage to the face, and then a 1/3 chance that he would have been screwed.
Yeah, going to trade the Zerdrake in. Yeah, it's definitely questionable. Well, it's gonna be game 2 going to Prometheus here, as he has easy lethal with combo, 5 mana combo, no less. And Nightsmoke bringing an interest. Oh, we see some DM too. Nightsmoke bringing an interesting dragon deck, and it actually did much better than your average control deck. Prometheus with 2 cards remaining.
Yeah, it took him a while.
Yeah, Nightsmoke able to keep up with the Druid for a while there, but just couldn't quite stick it out. And it should be mentioned that Nightsmoke, I think, drew kind of poorly. He didn't ever have his weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I think he only played 1 weapon the entire game, and that's a 4-weapon deck. And weapons are so important against Druid because they actually allow you to sort of stick with their tempo. All right, so Nightsmoke's trying to dig himself out. Prometheus just has Mage left. Nightsmoke has Warrior, Warlock, and Hunter. If you're Nightsmoke here, Nightsmoke clearly thinking the Mage is probably Freeze. That's why he brought the Warrior into that last game. But if you're Nightsmoke here, you've got to think that Prometheus is not going to bring Freeze Mage at this point. He's probably going to bring a Tempo or Mech Mage. So if I'm Nightsmoke here, I'd probably switch to something other than Warrior. But he sticks with the Warrior.
He does?
Yes, Nightsmoke sticks with the Warrior. Can you not see it?
Oh, no.
I
Waiting for next game to start. He is currently doing Battle with a Friend. Right.
I oddly got I got kicked from Prometheus's hand, so I can't see Prometheus's card. That's kind of odd that spectators sort of. I can't tell what kind of mage it is, but Prometheus is playing a Cogmaster H1, so it looks like it will be a Mech Mage, and
With a pretty outstanding opening hand.
okay, I'm gonna have to leave to see it. Yeah, oh man, that's a Snow Sugar coming down.
Again with no weapons, and the Snow Sugar would shut him down anyway. He does get the Justicar, but he's gonna. Oh, is that a Rend?
It is a Rend. Yeah, I saw
Nice.
that. I actually had to quit Hearthstone. My entire client just froze up. Yeah,
So right here, he's got his really only answer. Yeah, he's gonna coin. Is he gonna go for the bash? So he's gonna coin bash, which will, on the assumption, I guess, that Prometheus doesn't have another mech, or the hope, which actually was almost paid off. And it saved him from being frozen, but unfortunately, he doesn't really have any weapons to stay unfrozen for.
Right.
He also doesn't have any dragons in hand, so that Blackwing Marauder's
Blackwing Technician.
Technician, sorry.
All right, I'm back in finally. Sorry.
I think you.
Oh, he top decked Nefarian.
Yeah.
All right, so he's back in business, and Prometheus with a really weak hand. Actually, if I'm Prometheus here, I'd probably take that out with a burn.
Fire.
I'd probably Frostbolt Ping.
Oh, that's fair too.
Wow, Prometheus going with the shield, the mere entity, and if Nightsmoke top decks into a weapon here, Nightsmoke could crawl back into this game. He does not, though.
Prometheus is going to need a mech.
Prometheus is going to need a lot of mechs, actually, going forward. He's got a dead hand, and he draws into a fantastic mech here. And that's going to allow him to kill off this technician or go...
Or not. Who knew?
Oh, man. So Nightsmoke's drawing pretty well here. I think that Alex Strauss's champion's got to come down. He will have to eat that mirror entity, and without weapons, this is very difficult. But Nightsmoke is at a high enough life total that he might be able to crawl out of this. Oh my gosh. And the best, I would say, actually, potentially, is that better? That is probably better drop than Millhouse. Actually.
There is not a better drop in this situation.
Yep, that is a better drop than Millhouse.
There's a reason why that card is not a mage card.
Yes. And that's got to be really frustrating for Nightsmoke. We see the emote. I feel his pain here. Oh. I don't know if I agree with that attack at all, though.
I'm not sure what...
I would just remove damage. He can ping this and play... Oh, man. He can ping and just drop this Shredder and be...
I think that was a lot. I think most of that was frustration.
Yeah, and that's understandable. Man, seeing the worst pop... I mean, there's... What is it? There's like 90 or 100 different...
Something like that, yeah.
And for the worst possible one to come down, that's got to be so frustrating for Nightsmoke. Nightsmoke is starting to get really low here, and in fact...
here comes another Shredder. This is,
just going to lose unless he finds Brawl off the top or a Taunt. Well, Blackwing's a really good one.
I don't think it's enough.
He can ping off the...
He has to use it on the 3/3.
Right.
Or he can just go... He might just go for it on the Shredder, and, you know, if you get 1 in 100 once, maybe you'll get 1 in 100 again and get the Doomsayer.
Right.
Here we go. Roll those dice.
He's going to go for it. And it's going to be... Oh!
I'm so sorry, friend.
So Nightsmoke gets back in this game, and Prometheus draws completely dead.
Oh, baby. Rend.
Oh, and the...
Oh, yes!
Oh, my God!
This is Prometheus. If you watch this later, it's not something personal. It's just exciting.
No, Prometheus is thinking about this. There's really just one way to win this game for Prometheus.
And it
is that card. So maybe Prometheus will abstain from dropping it.
But that's I mean, I understand that you really don't want to lose an entire turn 7.
Right.
And I mean, you know he's playing dragons, but I don't know that I would still expect that there might be a Rend in there.
Oh my God.
Oh
my God. This needs Trollden get in here. The Rend value is out of this world.
He's not sure.
Happened. Like he's thinking
he's going to table flip. He's going to flip the table when this happens. Oh no.
Nightsmoke's pumping his fist right now. Oh, Nightsmoke.
Here it comes.
Get the emotes out. Get the emotes out.
Killajive's loving this.
Oh my God.
Huge outspoken fan of Ren Blackhand, if I remember correctly.
Is Killajive a huge fan of that?
I think so. He likes ridiculous things.
Killajive is a fancy
Pretty sure he likes it, though.
So Prometheus right now doesn't even know what happened. He's out. He just can't believe what just happened. And he's going to have to start using his turn. Right, and now Nightsmoke can actually get the True Heart down and start padding.
Immediately.
Or you can just kill off the threat and armor up.
Sure. That's fine too.
I would 100% do that. You just saw Frostbolts. The most the mage could do out of hand is 12. So you just take board control at this point, start shutting down the mechs. You know he's got 1 spare part in your hand. This game is completely turned around. Ren Blackhand MVP for Nightsmoke. Prometheus.
Well, I think the big moral of the story here today, kids, is that the piloted Shredder giveth, but the piloted Shredder also taketh away.
Incredible. Prometheus is drawing into usable minions, so that's pretty good. This Noyatron is going to be somewhat annoying for Nightsmoke, but if I'm Nightsmoke, I'm just going to get that Justicar down and start just padding up that armor. Actually...
9 is kind of an awkward number for True Heart. You could,
I
think, just
Dr.
boom.
Yeah. I just Dr. Boom armor. Because the most he can do is 12 damage, and he has got the 1 attack.
Plus 13.
So, 15 damage. Fireball, Frostbolt. We've only seen one
true.
Frostbolt, right?
That's true.
So Nightsmoke's
So
just
16 on board. Yeah, this is fine.
right.
And the boom bots are great. Oh,
And Prometheus's best top deck there probably would have been like a Blast Mage. But he doesn't get it. He gets a 1-drop instead, and Prometheus is starting to feel that oppressive cheat of armor. As Nightsmoke starts to crawl away here. Oh, I do like this Timer Winder. As Prometheus kind of starts to realize that he's probably not going to be able to keep mechs down. And
Now-
this huh?
interesting. I'm surprised. I guess he's really relying on those fireballs in this win condition.
Yeah, and that's a bit naive. I don't want to say naive, but it's a bit optimistic.
Optimistic, yeah. But at the same time, what do you really...
I think Nightsmoke will play around 15 burst damage.
I agree.
Pretty well here, and it's pretty easy for him to do at 20, and he's going to be removing minions pretty much. He'll let this 2 damage through, but after that, it's not going to happen again. If I'm Nightsmoke here,
I think you just make it clear that the game is over and armor up for 6.
right, and that's what he's going to go with, and that warrants probably a concede out of Prometheus. You lost your Antonitis, so you don't have that unlimited burn. Prometheus does get the best top deck he could ask for, but even with all 4 going face, it's not gonna do anything because that's 1
Not at all.
power. So he'll never be.
Yeah, in the last turn, Nightsmoke just gained the equivalent of a fireball.
Yeah, and Prometheus here is gonna actually. I like this play a lot. He's gonna try to start. He's gonna hope to fight for board control here, and he's gonna actually take it. But again, I just don't see this panning out. Again, Nightsmoke hasn't had a single weapon, if I recall correctly. And Nightsmoke draws perfectly. He draws into the Twilight Guardian. He can drop the so he's just gonna start getting these smaller minions out of the way and keep that armor up. And he's now, I mean, he's so safe. And Prometheus is top decking all those 1-drops that Mech Mage does run. And there's not even mechs for this Cog Master. So if I'm Prometheus here, I probably would fireball the 3/6 or just concede.
Or just call it, yeah.
So Nightsmoke with the incredible Doomsayer into Rend turn. Those back-to-back turns that just flip the board on Prometheus. And Nightsmoke's looking for that comeback. I think the Warrior was actually going to be one of the hardest classes for Nightsmoke to win with. I think Midrange Hunter definitely has the ability to jump out ahead of the Mech Mage curve. Or at least contest it with secrets and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
This Warlock could be interesting. This Warlock could be really difficult. He needs Zoo, I think, to win this.
Would you bring the Warlock or bring the Hunter back
I would 100%
first?
bring Zoo.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Zoo.
Oh, Zoo, for sure. Yeah.
Zoo can contest the board with a Mech Mage and win easily. And the way that goes is basically what Zoo does best is Zoo will just trade and trade and trade up until turn 5, but it can replenish its hand. So it can keep just the war of attrition going, whereas a Mage cannot replenish its hand. And
at the same time,
eventually
you are bringing yourself closer and closer with Zoo because you don't run healing. You do bring yourself within that burst range.
But generally, it doesn't really work. A deck that has more burn than Mech Mage and is more lethal than a Mech Mage is Tempo Mage, and it's one of its worst matchups is Zoo because it just can out attrition.
How do you feel about that mulligan? He's really going to be rewarded for it here. But I felt like he, against a Hunter especially, kept
double 4-drop.
Double 4-drop and only sent 1 back. So, I mean, this is the best hand like you could ever have. But
a couple of things. 1, keeping the Shredders just wrong. 2, it's definitely not the best hand. I mean, it's amazing because he's got a great curve, but keep in mind
it's also surprising that he wound up with this curve, I guess.
Right. Mech Warper is a thing. Man, Nightsmoke, just no 2-drop as a Hunter feels so bad here, and this is going to allow Prometheus to hop out ahead. Prometheus with the Frostbolt, just one of the best top decks he could have asked for. If I'm Prometheus here, I guess you just go with the curve. Nightsmoke really hoping to get like a Misha or something that can really nail down this board. A Huffer would be just so bad. A Liak would be even better than a Huffer here.
Absolutely.
And there's really no other play.
He just needs the 4 health. That's the important part.
Exactly. And even with the 4 health, like Prometheus could Frostbolt it off if it is a Misha. definitely the best one here for Nightsmoke. Prometheus, he could.
I think you just coin Blast Mage.
That's a little optimistic. I'd probably go with the Shredder. I wouldn't have faith in my Blast Mage hitting 3 times.
Well, it doesn't have to hit 3 times. You got an Annoyatron down.
True.
You got an Annoyatron, and is that... Oh, that's armor plating. My bad. I thought it was the +1 attack.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's not. So he's going to go with the Frostbolt Ping. This is an interesting play here. Interesting play. All right.
Very conservative.
Nightsmoke finally gets a 2. Definitely very conservative. Prometheus' hand quality is extremely high. Nightsmoke, though, he can play the Mad Scientist and the Snakes and just sit here. And then he can just actually get this Stampeding Kodo off next turn, which will be really surprising. Prometheus can't really anticipate that. If he plays the Snakes here, though, he's probably going to give it away. There's no reason Prometheus would ever hit this Mad Scientist. So Prometheus will instantly learn this is Snakes by going face. But there's a chance that you could maybe fool him into not attacking at all. So Nightsmoke considers that. I like that play by Nightsmoke, really thinking about like what you want to do with these snakes. I probably would have played it anyway. But
right, because even if this isn't for a hunter, this isn't the worst idea of something to freezing trap either.
Right.
Just to get out of the way.
Absolutely. Well, Nightsmoke is kind of bailed out by that Mad Scientist. He can either go with the Stampeding Kodo here, or he can go with the Quick Shot. He goes with the Stampeding Kodo. He gets that 3/5 body on the board, and I guess I'll go face here. Yeah.
And he takes out the Divine Shield. I like that a lot.
That was a great play. Man, double Blast Mage though from Prometheus. This is brutal. I definitely would play a Blast Mage here. See what happens.
And then he can even do the armor play. He's got the antidote in hand.
He'll get severely punished. Man, if that had popped the Scientist, that would have been an interesting. Very, very interesting. This is, very interesting attack from Prometheus. A Hunter can really punish that pretty severely with a Mad Scientist out. Oh, and he gets the bow, too.
He's got lots of options on this turn.
So many options on this turn. We don't know his traps. If we knew his traps, we could speak more to this. I would assume his last traps are either freezing traps or bear traps.
Haven't we seen We've seen an explosive.
No, we saw that from Prometheus. We did not see that from Nightsmoke.
You're right.
So, man, this is a really tough turn. I really like using the Quick Shot this turn. I like probably Unleash seems a little premature. Using the bow is also taking a lot of face damage.
Yeah, that's not worth the.
I don't totally disagree with this. It's kind of an awkward spot for him.
It's being really optimistic. I guess it's fair, but it's being really optimistic about what comes out of the Shredder.
What I like here from Nightsmoke is actually running in the Scientists. Oh,
okay. So.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Okay, and then you just hit this and you freezing that back. I assume that's a freezing trap. It is a freezing trap. Okay, and he can go face with this, and he has the lead in health. Prometheus is getting close to his Antonice. Prometheus' hand is just so powerful. However,
of all the things to have freezing trapped back, though, this is not the worst at all.
Certainly not the worst. Yeah, that's what I was actually I was about to say. I liked sending the Shredder back. But perhaps Nightsmoke wasn't sure on which trap he would get. Maybe he is running a bear trap. Well, regardless, Prometheus is going to lose complete control of this board, and now he's going to go with the double threes here. I like this. This is definitely the correct play from Prometheus. Can Nightsmoke...
unknowingly he does shut down... Oh, there's an owl. Do you throw it away for the known mirror entity?
I think Nightsmoke can afford to not play a minion this turn. I think he's got a lot of spells he can kind of work with. I'd probably throw up the snakes. And the question is, do you Quick Shot? Man, this is such a difficult turn.
I don't know that he really does have all that much he can do.
Playing the Tiger would be so strong here. You could go for the owl into Tiger and kill off the... That seems pretty strong, actually.
And kill off... Yeah, I like that. Well, all right.
There's not a... I guess a second Shredder is something you want to owl. This trap is going to be a second freezing trap. Okay, so he does play the snake trap. Also, Nightsmoke, let's keep in mind, he doesn't play the snake trap. There's no reason ever not to play the snake trap. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. All right, well, Nightsmoke is going to he gets Prometheus all the way to 16 health, so he is doing Hunter things slowly but surely. This is gonna give him a proc, and he can use the Unleash the Hounds to clean up this board. And I would use I would Unleash the Hounds here for sure, but he doesn't.
Gonna go for defense. He's gonna force the attack.
Problem is the freezing trap here can be used on the owl.
Right.
And then he doesn't have to actually even proc. This is I would have loved to see an Unleash the Hounds there.
Yeah, I think he was just I think
gotta
this is
consider that
a misplay. Right.
Right. So the snakes are going to come down, and that's going to help Nightsmoke out a lot for this board control. And Prometheus has no way to proc his second Blast Mage. So Prometheus in a very awkward point. I'm actually really surprised he doesn't owl there. I wonder what he's doing with the rest of his turn. Dropping another Blast Mage? I was actually really surprised he didn't owl there. I would have liked to see
I guess
owl the
if
Mad Scientist and a ping.
But
And
if
that way
you're
he
concerned that he's going to follow up with a high main,
Right. Well, Nightsmoke's
then
actually...
you can just owl and fireball it. Well, or that.
Man, Prometheus is really playing with fire here.
I see what you did there.
Well, he's trying to go face here a lot against this Hunter, but the fact of the matter is, like, he's losing the smart game himself. And now Nightsmoke can drop the Shredder and this Tiger, and he could go face.
Take him down to 10, but then he's leaving 7 on the board.
No, he's
so
guaranteed
12.
lethal next turn because of his bow. Yeah, so
Well, the only concern then is if 19 damage is possible on Prometheus' side, which it is not.
You've seen a fireball. Yeah, it's not possible. Is it? It's not because at 9 mana.
Fireball, Frostbolt.
It's not possible because he can't fireball, Frostbolt. Can he? Oh, yeah, he can.
Yeah.
12.
You've seen a Frostbolt,
He would need exactly that. Oh, Nightsmoke doesn't go with the guaranteed lethal here.
No!
Man, that's the reason you have a Tiger. He can't get touched. Oh, and this might really hurt Nightsmoke. You gotta go full face here. Is he gonna trade?
Oh, no.
Somebody give Nightsmoke the Smork song. He needs some lessons on how to Hunter. He sets up a very precarious lethal here.
Very precarious.
Nightsmoke or Prometheus.
If the only thing he did differently, I guess he was 1 mana short. If he wanted to do all the same things but play the Tiger as well.
Yeah, and now Prometheus doing an odd play here too. If I was Prometheus, he top decked the mech. He could actually use his Blast Mage.
Yeah, but that
right. Well, what Nightsmoke does do is he has guaranteed 2-turn lethal with this bow. If I'm Nightsmoke here, I wouldn't drop anything. I would just go face. Because you don't want to give him anything to...
maybe he was thinking he would pick...
Well, now you can definitely drop the animal, the Tiger, but there's like no reason to drop anything there. You have guaranteed lethal. Oh no, because of the freeze. He wouldn't be able to attack with his face next turn. Okay, so that play was absolutely correct by Nightsmoke. 100%. He needed the Tiger down.
Right.
Yeah, and here you just go face. There's no reason to trade. Absolutely none. Never, ever, ever. Kill the mech. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. If you kill the mech, you can't do the Blast Mage. You have 5 stealth plus your bow. Because this now, like, you've got way overkill.
Well, Prometheus can do 4 to face, theoretically, with another 3, that's 7, plus a ping, that's 8, plus 4, that's 12.
15.
So Prometheus has no way of lethaling, and he's going to lose. So Nightsmoke playing the super
2-2, everyone.
Hunter pays off, and he gets the win. All right, well, Nightsmoke definitely crawling back there. His last deck is Warlock. I definitely would love to see... I guess a Reno Lock would be okay. Would be pretty good.
Except that Relock is terrible.
Dan is a little bitter because he's had a bad experience with Reno Lock. But a Reno Lock would be okay. I don't think it would be that good. I think Zoo is the definite go-to here. Zoo if it's so consistent, it runs so many low cost minions. You're gonna have you're probably gonna have a good curve unless you're Clark Kent in the All Star series, and you're gonna be able to just trade off his minions, out attrition him, and then build up a board that he can't deal with. I would be a little hesitant if I was Nightsmoke. The way Prometheus has been playing this freeze mage is severely aggressive, like insanely aggressive.
Well, because it's not a freeze mage.
Right, but I mean, that last Hunter game, I couldn't believe some of the plays he's making. It looks like this is certainly not Reno. It looks like it will be Zoo. And right off the bat, Nightsmoke with atrocious hands. So maybe
throw it all
he
away.
won't have a thing. And Prometheus with the 1-2, and if we know Prometheus, he'll probably keep that Blast Mage. Prometheus might be losing a lot of confidence in this Mech Mage as it continues to lose. And it lost 2 matches.
Nice.
It certainly wasn't super favored in. And there you go.
Nightsmoke throws the whole thing away.
Whole thing away, and he's going to have the curve. Prometheus keeps his whole hand, and Prometheus with
and picks up an amazing 2-drop.
So now if I'm Nightsmoke, you 100% coin out the Haunted Creeper here. Because you have that Abusive Sergeant, it's 100% the time to play here. The Abusive Sergeant allows you to kill off a Mech Warper. It allows you to kill off a Snow Chugger. It allows you to do whatever you want. But also, you don't just throw your Flame Imp into this Clock Dome. And
if he plays, say, a Snow Chugger, and then you can Abusive next turn.
Yep, you can Abusive a Knife Juggler next turn.
He's going to play the Annoyatron? That'd be the right play.
The Annoyatron is the correct play to play around Abusive. However, Annoyatron isn't really strong on this board.
Yep.
And Nightsmoke's going to be able to... ooh, and he gets a Juggler.
But he still can't use it. Not yet.
Right. So you can, but he can play the Flame Imp. I probably would even drop... I think
I would tap.
Ooh. I definitely wouldn't tap. I would definitely drop the Juggler. The Flame Imp at the worst. I would consider dropping the Juggler. I definitely wouldn't tap. You've got your turn 3 set up. You've got like all sorts of options here. I guess I would save the Juggler. I guess I would just drop the Flame Imp. Because he'll kill it, but he's left with a 1-2 on board, and you can use your Juggler next turn with Abusive, and that's going to be a lot of value. Tapping would definitely be a decent play. I still like the Flame Imp here. Juggler
is just too obvious a threat. Like, obviously he's going to trade, but he probably would have traded with the Flame Imp anyway. And if he didn't, then that's okay too.
Right. And if Prometheus elects to go with this this mirror, Nightsmoke can kind of get good value by using this Abusive Sergeant and the Flame Imp next. The Juggler, if I'm Nightsmoke here, I'm not really entirely sure. I guess he was just too scared of taking too much damage up front. All right, well, Prometheus.
Yeah, because he has noticed if that Prometheus is playing this really aggressively.
Yeah, and for me, and I see that. Like, Nightsmoke doesn't want to take too much early damage so that he's not dead to burn later.
Right.
So Nightsmoke here has a couple plays. I definitely still like the Abusive and Flame Imp though. Then that leaves you with a board, a ton of one health things, and there's a lot of concern for a Blast Mage, I guess. So the alternative place is just drop the Flame Imp.
You could also Owl Abusive.
Right, and the Owl Abusive play, it's just 1 damage different. There's not a lot. I mean, there's Shredders, there's Mad Scientist. There's some really good Owl targets. I kind of like holding on to the Owl. This play is such a good play.
Yes.
This is
much better.
Knowing what Prometheus has in his hand, this is the best play because this doesn't make the Blast Mage.
Shuts that Blast Mage right down. Yep.
In fact, if I was Prometheus here, I'd pop the Spider and then Blast Mage. I would use the Annoyatron to pop the Spider, and then I'd Blast Mage.
Absolutely.
And he's going to do this play. Definitely top level plays from both players. Nightsmoke's really happy he didn't go with the Abusive Sergeant last time. It looks like first hit. So relatively good hits here
that was pretty fortunate. That could have gone a lot worse there for Prometheus.
Yeah, the first hit implied it might, but a top deck defender is actually really good here. Alternative.
Well, he's 1 mana short of being able to use the Abusive, so he could use the Abusive, and he'd be left with a 1/1 and a 2/1.
I love Defender here. I would Defender these two. I'd use the Imp on the 1/1 and the now 3/4 on the Shredder, and then you've got them taunting
Chugger.
A. The Chug,
Yep.
sorry, and
Yeah, that sounds good.
yeah, it's just really you can't punish it with a Blast Mage unless you have a 1-drop mech. So he's gonna go with this. That was a really really good top deck here for him, and it shuts down. Yeah, just and this is what Zoo wants to do. It just wants to have such a board that it can keep trading. And now Prometheus is in a pretty awkward spot. He's gonna want to ping, but at the same time he's got those 2/2 drops. So it's just this is where it starts getting really really awkward for the mech mage. He is gonna go with the ping. I'd probably just drop the Mirror Entity as well, just to curve out.
Not the Mad Scientist.
No, because you're gonna get value from it anyway. You don't. I mean, you assume you're gonna get value from it anyway. If he drops the Mad Scientist, obviously the Owl will punish it severely. I just think that you curve out here with the Mirror Entity. It also might buy you back a little tempo, which you're desperately looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Not attacking is interesting. It's going to get punished.
Well, the idea is if you attack, then all you're doing is giving it away, in essence, for free, because
Right.
he's got this frozen... He can't attack with it, and it would generate a 1/1 that could kill off the Blast Mage.
Right. And if I'm Nightsmoke here, you just... Oh, he's going to tap. Okay, he's going to tap. I guess you want to play the Spider. I would have liked the Spider and the Flame Imp. Oh man.
Yeah. I think he's made a decision to just not play the Flame Imp this game.
But he's still tapping, so he isn't scared of taking that face damage.
Well,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And Prometheus not playing the Tinkertown. Very interesting. Very, very interesting plays. Ooh. Juggler into Owl into Creeper looks like a beautiful curve here.
into hitting the Mech Warper.
Yeah,
I guess it depends on where
hit
the juggles
you hit
land.
the Mech Warper and you just hope you snipe off the Mad Scientist.
So many possibilities.
You definitely want to remove the Mech Warper.
I think I would probably do that. I think I'd play the Haunted Creeper dead last.
Well, you play the Juggler first, no matter what.
Yeah, this is premature if he was going to play the Juggler.
Yeah, and
I think it's possible, though, that he's going to go for an Owl and then a Void Terror.
Right. If you are Nightsmoke here, you want to ask yourself, well, the Void Terror is so awkward, too, on the mana. You have to drop the Flame Imp, right?
Yeah, I think he's probably going to. I think he's going to play the Flame Imp and the Void Terror. And now it's just such an enormous board that it's like you either Flame Strike me or you lose. Or he will just continue to not play the Flame Imp. Fair enough.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want it to die to the 2/2. This is actually a really kind of interesting board for Dr. Boom to come down. If you're Prometheus here, you have to drop Dr. Boom, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And this is kind of awkward for Nightsmoke. He needs a Power Overwhelming or something right here, because that's 7. If that's 7 damage, I mean, if it takes out he needs to tap for something here, pretty badly. I don't know. Going back to, I think he got Implosion, but he's one short of
comboing.
He needs this to be a 3 or 4, and now
no.
Oh man.
That was a mistake.
Well, can't trade. This is just. Oh man. I think this all goes back to the last turn, not dropping the Juggler. I think that was certainly not the play. And he's going to trade both in, and he's lost all his board advantage. Oh my gosh, this is devastating for him. And now Prometheus is going to be able to completely get back on this this pain train. He can take full board control. I think the last 2 turns have cost Nightsmoke the game.
I agree.
Really painful to watch.
Props to Josh Sampson, just picked up a Blingtron.
It's a pretty cool card. Sometimes running Mech Mage. Well, no, Ganis could be the thing to turn it around. It's going to be difficult.
He's not gonna kill the Void Terror or the Void Caller.
Yeah, but you can kill it off next turn. Juggler into Haunted Creeper into Void Caller. The problem is you've got the Flame Imp in your hand. Oh.
Ooh, that was...
Space. Alright, so you kill off the 2/1 here probably then.
No doubt.
To save that Juggler from immediate harm. The thing is, Prometheus does have a weak hand. We see it's just a Frostbolt, but he is, with this power level, the 4 attack on board, he's getting to that point. Ooh. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Nightsmoke
Playing with fire.
playing with a lot
Prometheus
of fire.
is one Antonitis away, though, from just ending
Winning
this.
the game. Yep. Absolutely. And we've only seen one mirror entity, so another mirror entity should come down here for Prometheus. Definitely walking a tightrope. Prometheus this is just a really odd play. I guess he's going on the top decked fireball now. But what?
Well, Mal'Ganis is going to come down now.
Yeah, Mal'Ganis can come down, and then he can get the Flame Juggler out for free, and not use the damage. And
The Flame Imp.
Flame Imp, thank you.
Yeah, he can get the Flame Imp out for
Juggler
free. He can
go
do
nuts.
the... Yeah. This actually... And there's no way we see for Prometheus to actually deal with the Mal'Ganis. So this... He may have just forfeited with that.
Well, let's see. Let's make sure that Nightsmoke sees it and doesn't run his Void Caller in first.
That would be unfortunate.
Yeah, because Prometheus, the Nightsmoke has made a series of very questionable turns. Oh, and the second Void Caller could completely mess this up.
Play it.
So the sequencing is really easy here. If you're Nightsmoke here, I think you just go for the 50-50. Or no, you play Mal'Ganis without it.
Oh, yeah.
So you play Mal'Ganis first, right? Yes, you run the Juggler in. Yes,
Well,
you run the Juggler first, yep. Because you want the Juggles to land on either the 2-1. Actually, it doesn't even matter. This is such an easy turn.
It doesn't even matter because you've got all those creeper.
Yeah, you play Mal'Ganis first.
But whatever, this is fine. This is not the end of the world at all.
Oh no!
No!
Why? Why would you do this? He's going to go for the Mal'Ganis.
Oh no!
God.
He's gonna do it anyway. It's gonna work. That was such a lucky juggle. Playing with fire.
Does he get Mal'Ganis?
Oh yeah.
Wait. What? Okay, well that worked out.
That worked out real well.
Do not try that at home, kids. For God's sake, you'll give us a heart attack. Oh my gosh. I don't think that was the correct sequence of
Actually, I
plays.
think it was totally fine because notice he never even had to pop the creeper, which is 3 extra damage.
Well, I would like to say something. No, I actually think this is the wrong sequence of plays because this dies. He would be dead to double fireball now. Taking that 3 damage
That's true.
from the Flame Imp is extremely relevant.
Yep.
And
that's fair.
I still just, yeah, I don't know. Prometheus here is really on Antonitis or more. He really needs Antonitis. Actually, Prometheus might just...
Well, he can freeze him.
Yeah,
but
that'll stall some
not looking
damage. Oh, man. Well,
Yikes.
no damage is ever going to hit his face. Implosions is pretty good here. Honestly, Nightsmoke can just implode here.
Yep.
See what happens. He might not have to play another minion. Because he'll have next turn lethal. Oh, okay. Or not implosion.
Maybe he's gonna implode the Voidwalker.
Well, so the 5-1 can be pinged off now. How much damage does he have?
I don't know why you wouldn't implode. You get, they're all
Yeah,
plus,
and now
plus
that
2.
that 5 damage doesn't connect to face. Wait. Well, he's gonna have lethal. I
I think he's just a little high on Mal'Ganis right now.
I mean, I think if Nightsmoke's probably breathing a sigh of relief here.
He loves the power.
He's going to come back from a 0-2 deficit. It looks like this game's going to be ended. Honestly, there's nothing Prometheus can top deck. Unless he's running Deathwing, there's nothing he can top deck here to win. Because Nightsmoke's going to win in 2 turns, no doubt, no matter what happens. And Prometheus needs Fireball to Fireball, which is impossible.
You gotta take that Blood Imp, man. Take that Demon.
Yeah, that Blood Imp. Although, I guess this gives him a good trade.
No.
What is he doing?
He's
He's
high on
just
Mal'Ganis.
silly. He's so high on the Mal'Ganis. All right, well, this somehow worked out. I cannot believe this. And tap last. Who cares? Nothing hurts you.
Whatever.
The Frostbolt, not enough. And Prometheus is going to fall to the reverse sweep by Nightsmoke. Some very, very close games. I think it all goes back to the Shredder into Doomsayer into Ren Blackhand on Instant. So Nightsmoke taking the win, giving Noob Central a win they desperately wanted against Supreme.
The Dream Team.
I'm sorry, the Dream Team.
Giving the Dream Team a win in what has otherwise been a nightmare.
Yeah, and we're gonna get Alec into this call. We're gonna have him in here for a post-game interview in a second. But that, just pointing that out, in the blue, the very dominant Supreme is actually now down to the Dream Team. They're underdogging their way and trying to play spoiler here for Supreme's grasp at a good position in the playoffs.
Which the first place team certainly doesn't mind at all.
Yeah, so that was something else to watch. We're gonna get Alec in here in a second to talk about some of those plays and stuff. And again, folks, we will after Alec, we will have Boom Boom Hall and Markshire on deck for game number 2 of your Salty Saturday. So I think we have Alex in the call now. Alex, you there? Or maybe not. We're trying to get him on the call. This is we're experimenting with this kind of post-call interview. See how it goes. But what a crazy series to lead off with. Everyone's hyped for the Euro Slimsh battle. But
right.
Man, my heart stopped like 8 times during that series. Crazy games, crazy shredder drops. So awesome way to start us off there. And some pretty cool decks too from Alex. I mean, the Dragon Warrior is not something you typically see. Despite the Dragon Priest's prevalence, Dragon Warrior hasn't quite caught on. So we'll have.
I think it's because it's caught in a weird, like the synergies for it are kind of strange because you bring sort of slower cards that take a little while to develop, and then also a card that gets charge.
Right. Yeah.
It seems a little at odds with itself.
Yeah, and it serves a purpose. Like, you're not going to have an aggro Dragon Warrior. I mean, I know that is out there, by the way. I'm aware that's a deck, but it's not. When you're building,
anything's a deck with cards in it.
Alex throws as champion serves this weird purpose because that's generally what the War Axe does. But it works out
for plenty of value, and it's not like you're suddenly because you're playing dragons, you aren't gaining armor anymore.
Right, and you're never going to cut the War Axe, so it's interesting. We'll definitely have to ask Alex about that once he gets in here. But yeah, interesting deck. It worked out for him, and I should point out that he almost won the Druid game with that Dragon Warrior, and he was able to take out the Mech Mage with the Dragon Warrior, which is pretty incredible because Warriors usually cannot keep up with those two much.
Well, yeah, usually it takes some kind of crazy miracle like a Doomsayer off a Pilot Shredder.
Oh man, the Ren Blackhand is just that goes on the
that too.
The THL. Somebody needs to get on a THL Trollden highlight video.
It took too long to develop.
Just incredible, absolutely incredible.
And the intent, crap. Well, anticipation. Excuse me. The anticipation for that Antonitis as he was just hovering, waiting to play it. Is this worth
titillating? It? Yeah. But yeah, and I think you said it best. Like, Pilot Shredder giveth and it taketh away. Like the
shielded minibot. We were pretty bummed out for Nightsmoke there for a minute.
Yep. He and I mean we saw some greetings from both players. Prometheus feeling really good as it enabled him to push some more damage with that Cogmaster.
Oh, my bad. Hello?
All right, hey, is he there?
Yep, I'm here. Can you guys hear me all right?
We can. Congrats on that win, dude. That was intense games. How are you feeling?
That was probably one of like the most like roller coaster emotions of like series I've ever played with. There was like so much RNG in that, especially was at that third game with like he got the mini bot off Shredder and then I got the Doomsayer.
Oh man. How good How much are you gonna just stick it to the haters about your Ren Blackhand include now? Like no one can ever question you for including that in your
That was
deck.
incredible.
That
Oh,
was
were people
insane.
talking smack about it's a dragon deck? I mean, why wouldn't you have him in there? He's so good.
Well, I think you're the first person to ever say that, but that deck is certainly.
If you're running a dragon themed deck, like how can you not include him?
Well, I think Brian Kibler and you can go
Can
start a
discuss that,
dragon.
yeah.
Yeah, you both would probably agree with that. But
And it was funny too because that turn before that I was like, oh please drop Tony. I'm like, if I was him, I would drop Tony right on an open board. Like go for it.
oh yeah,
And
and
he was just hovering for so long.
his hand, just so you know, when he dropped Tony, was a spare part and 2 fireballs. So he was just like, I dropped Tony here, right? And then I just
And then I
blow
win.
him up next turn. And like he's got no armor to shield slam. He can't afford to axe it down and execute it. There's nothing he can do.
There's
Literally
nothing.
Nothing. And oh man, after having that Doomsayer, it was quite the roller coaster ride.
The Jupe say like the mini bot I was super mad about because
Yep.
I was going to trade the Alex Strauss
Understandable.
champion into the Cogmaster.
Yep.
And then I'm like, wait a minute, why is his attack still 3? And you got a mini bot. I'm like, oh god, mini bot's a mech. I was like, son of a.
We were actually discussing it, and we both agreed that the minibot out of every single card, including Millhouse Manastorm, was the worst possible drop that he could have gotten for you because it kept the mech. It also is obviously a super strong minion.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh man, that's just gonna break his back. But you stuck it out and you got the win. Incredible way to come back there. I gotta say, have you ever seen the Smork song on YouTube? Do you know how to play Hunter? Like it's pretty. You don't trade, man.
That's always been one of my problems. Like I'm a very defensive minded player, but like that Hunter game just felt like so horrible, like all the time. Like there was I think the one turn where I traded with the Hounds, I was just like looking at the board. I'm like, I feel like I have to trade somewhere. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
like
I mean, when you watch the VOD, you can review it, and there were, I think, a couple more.
Just listen for his voice going, no.
There is
no, I'm definitely gonna watch this one because I know it between that game and like the Zoo game. I'm sure I made a ton of mistakes too.
Well, the interesting thing was though, like I have to say, you had in the Hunter game, the Hunter versus Mech Mage game, you had some of the like most difficult turns. Like they should, and if the what would you do here, folks are listening, there were some turns there that were just like, I mean, I consider myself a high level player. I was like, I don't really know here. He's got like quick shot. He's got the bow. Like it was. Yeah. You had some.
And then I think the other turn I really screwed up was actually the turn where I equipped the bow and then went face at the end because I was like, wait a minute, I was gonna hit something else with the bow, but I don't remember. So I just
shit.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, and then going into the Zoo game. The Zoo game was something else. We were, you had some really rough RNG. That implosion didn't quite work out on the Dr. Boom.
That was the other time where I was just like, really? Like you couldn't just give me a 3? Like come on.
Right. I mean, it made sense as the play, but yeah, definitely go back and look at that. There was some plays with the juggler potentially earlier on that would have maybe bailed you out more, but once you got that Mal'Ganis down, we were having a good time just watching you just go crazy with the Mal'Ganis power.
Well, because I kind of was like, well, if he has double fireball, I'm pretty much dead anyway, so I might as well just like go for it and get everything on the board.
Right.
And then like I was like looking at thinking, well, what could still kill me? I'm like, well, frostbolt and fireball, I guess. Then he like threw the frostbolt. I was like, no. And then he quit, and I was like, yes.
Dude, what a comeback. Amazing job. And that gives your team the lead against the very strong Supreme. You came in very strong against Prometheus. Feels good, man. Any last thoughts before we say goodbye?
Nope. It was a good series. Like I said, I had fun. Thanks for having me on too.
Yeah, we love having you. And man, so many gold classes. Such a shiny 4-spot.
Actually, I recently completed Shaman thanks to the Smork Shaman that's going around. So I actually have everyone golden now.
Well, you will get a very angry letter in the mail from me later.
It's all right. You probably have a bigger gold card collection than I do. So.
Yeah, he probably does.
I feel pretty safe saying that.
All right. Well, Alex, awesome job, man. Congrats on the win. Very fun series. We're going to have to say goodbye as our next match is ready to go. But
All right.
yeah, congrats, man.
Thanks a lot for having me on. Enjoy the rest of the night, guys.
All right, buddy.
All right. Bye. Good job.
All right. Well, what a nice chap. All right, so we will be jumping into the Boom Boom Hall versus Markshire match. Boom Boom Hall, of course, the number 2 from the venerable Harry Generals, and Markshire, the number 2 from everyone's